Good evening. It is now 6 o'clock, and I welcome you to the Community Development Committee meeting. I'm the Chair, Lewis Washington. Today's meeting is being recorded and will be available via the city website. Thank you for joining us today. So I'll start with the roll call. I have Councilman Murphy. I'm here. We have the city administrator here with us today, and we have Director Davis as well. Okay, so, and I understand the mayor will be joining us soon. Okay. So now we move to our first item of regular business to approve the agenda. Any questions regarding the agenda?
Nope.
Okay, if there are no. Is that Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Johnson. We understand that you're away right now on family trip. So thank you for joining us.
No problem.
We have Mr. Mayor. Okay, and let the record also reflect Mr. Mayor has joined us as well. Okay, so we're just here at the agenda. If there were no questions on the agenda, I'll give everyone time to kind of settle in. But if there are no questions on the agenda, I'd like to move to approve the agenda. Okay, hearing no concerns, the agenda is approved. At this time, we will provide time for residents to provide a public comment. I don't see anyone here for public comment, so we'll assume there's no one for public comment and move forward. The next item of business is we now move to our next item, which is the minutes dated June 15th for approval. Are there any questions or concerns regarding the June 15th meeting minutes? Okay.
None from me.
Okay. Nothing from Councilmember Johnson. Okay, so we'll approve the meeting minutes. Next on the agenda is a discussion item, the CED 2026 work plan. And at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Director Davis.
Thank you, Chair Washington, and good evening, committee members. Tonight, I'm Mona Davis. I'm your Community and Economic Development Director. And tonight, I thought I would just take an opportunity to go through our 2026 work plan to kind of give you an idea of what we're focused on to get us through the remainder of this year. So we've kind of focused right now on the most important thing, and that is getting our comprehensive plan certified by the end of the year. And that includes our housing and our land use elements and getting our zoning map updated. So I've prepared a schedule here to kind of give you a visual of what our plan is. So tonight, for example, we are going to the Planning Commission. Burke is coming in to present to them and kind of go over, it's like their very first, all the work that they've been working on since they initially kicked off the meeting and they came and presented to you. Should have had that date down, but it's been a couple months ago now. They presented to you and the planning commissioners. Well, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and so they're going to bring a draft land use and housing element, as well as talk about the zoning map updates at tonight's planning commission meeting. I have put a placeholder on both August 24th and the September 28th council meeting nights to have possibly a joint roundtable meeting with the council and the planning commission. And that would just be a presentation from Burke to keep you updated along the way. What I'm trying to avoid is to have the planning commission go about doing all this work, have the public hearings, and then bring it to the CD committee and ultimately the full council at the final hour at the end of the year, because we have so much work we've got to get done. And then have there be a lot of questions and or maybe concerns that we could have addressed earlier in the process. So we've held those two placeholders. I don't anticipate that we'll need both of them, but I do anticipate that we'll need at least one. And then we intend to hold a public hearing at the Planning Commission on October 5th. And then we will have a final draft for the Planning Commission to review on October 19th. And then we will prepare a ordinance to come to the CD committee and the council. CD committee would see the final draft recommendation from the Planning Commission in November 16th. And then we'd have a first reading at council on November 23rd and a second reading on December 14th, and hopefully be ready to adopt. Now, with that being said, we are also looking at, we want to be able to look at the data center discussion as part of our comprehensive plan update and see where that might best fit in, particularly our land use table, where data centers would be permitted, not permitted. So we will be looking at we will be looking at incorporating some language around data centers into the comprehensive plan, and then probably take a deeper dive into the actual zoning regulations separately, and likely early next year, if I could guess. So with that being said, I also wanted to let you know that while this is our focus, staff are doing a lot of work behind the scenes also to try to, update our sign code and do our mobile food vendor type regulations. And so we just didn't calendar that for now because we didn't want it to get in the way of what the most important work is that we need to get done by the end of the year, and that we committed to PSRC to finishing. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have around this schedule and provide any additional clarification if it would be helpful.
Councilmember Johnson?
Thank you. Yeah, that's a very tight schedule, but I think it's realistic. I would have had concern about having 2+ potentially meetings between the council and the planning commission, but just one, that sounds reasonable to me. And then the other thing was, I'm just curious if the planning commission and the department is still working on a not data ordinance, a cell tower ordinance. Is that still something that's in the works?
The wireless.
Wireless. That's the word I was looking for.
Yep. I knew what you meant. The wireless regulations are still on our radar. We don't have those scheduled to begin work quite yet, but there is a possibility that, depending on our budget, we might be able to bring in a consultant to help with that work. But right now, staff are feeling like we have so much on our plate, we don't really have capacity to bring that in-house and do that right now. But it is still something that needs to be done.
Yeah, I'll just make
a plan.
Did you have a follow-up, Councilmember Johnson?
Nope, just putting my hand down.
Okay. So thank you, Director Davis, for this presentation. This is a good outline. It's definitely aggressive. But you and I spoke about this, and we're in essence up against the clock. So this has got to be done this year. Or, we run the risk of not having a certified comprehensive plan, which, takes us out of the running for money.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think the only real question I have, I guess, practical question would just be around, I know you're going to be working with the consultants on this. Just given the nature of this schedule, kind of behind the scenes, do you think everything will be able to get done from the consulting perspective?
Yeah, I feel really good about our consultant team. We've got a really great group of people that are working um, various facets of all the work that has to come in to get this comprehensive plan done. In addition to this, we have like a mid-September deadline to get information to King County Housing Committee, and then they will review our information on our housing and land use elements as well as our zoning map. And they'll take that draft and then they'll have a hearing. I believe it's in early November, November 5th, if my memory serves me correctly, which is why we needed to bump the CD committee and council meetings down to later in November, because we need to have their recommendation of approval in order to go forward.
Okay. That makes sense because that was a question I was just wondering, instead of the 16th for that final review, final draft and recommendation, could that potentially be moved up to the 2nd? But you answered that question.
Yeah, we tried to do that, but it was just the schedules were too tight.
Well, thank you. Councilmember Johnson? You're on mute, Councilmember.
Fair. Thank you. Yeah, just two other things that are on my mind at the moment. First is, did I hear correctly that a draft map is not ready yet, but there will be kind of an introductory discussion about that intended for the Planning Commission tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing is about Planning Commission vacancies. Are there still any vacancies? And the reason I'm concerned, of course, is meeting quorum. And if there are any vacancies still, is that still a priority to try to get those filled, so that we can try to avoid, especially as we get a little bit later into this year, potentially having a Planning Commission meeting slip. And I don't know if we could even hold a special Planning Commission meeting to make up for it, but at any rate, yeah, that's just a concern that I still have.
I think we could, and to answer your questions, yes, we do still have vacancies. We have 2 vacancies on the Planning Commission. And yes, that's the mayor and I have had several conversations about me being a little more nervous about, because we have had already, we missed a meeting last month because we didn't have well, I guess it was earlier this month because we didn't have a quorum. So that definitely is a concern and it is being prioritized.
Councilmember Murphy.
So Councilmember Johnson kind of stole my thunder on that one on the
There we go.
on the quorum issue, because yeah, as you pointed out, we had one meeting slip because we didn't have enough members in attendance, and we have I think our margin for error I think is one commissioner right now. So just wanted to flag that. I think this is a otherwise achievable schedule, and excited for, I think, the substantive work that will come out of it as we kind of move through the year. I'd say in addition to this, obviously quite a bit lower down the to-do list, I would just flag sign code updates is something that I think our residents are watching, and something that I think warrants secondary prioritization, of course, after this is all settled, or perhaps in concert, but wanted to make sure that the sign code amendment issue is there. And I know you mentioned it at the top of the meeting, so just want to underline that. But otherwise, no comments, no other comments from me.
Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. I have a quick candid question for the administration. Given that the quorum is so tight with one, do we have applicants for the 2 vacancies? Mr. Mayor, please.
We're looking for applicants for those 2 vacancies. We did fill one. We had 3 after, from a planning commission perspective, the unfortunate loss of one of our planning commissioners. Seems like the council had some kind of role in that, but no. So we did fill that. But no, we still need 2 more, and it is definitely a priority. Planning Commission is, as you know, a very important commission, and finding people to fill that is challenged. So we're working on that. working on that pretty hard. I've actually talked to a number of individuals and hoping to fill that soon, but couldn't agree more about the importance of filling those. I think to just tell you a little bit more about that, one of the things I was worried about is just retaining the planning commissioners we have.
Mhm.
Because at least one of them, when I met with them, talked about kind of the idea that, doesn't seem like that much interesting coming our way, to which I said, oh, stay tuned. There is so much coming down
Absolutely.
to track that
Absolutely.
you're going to have
Yeah.
no problem being very engaged and finding it very rewarding. But yes, we got to fill those 2 positions, very focused on that. That's absolutely important. May I make one other comment for you?
Please follow up, please, Mr. Mayor.
So there is an internal version of this that's on the screen that we're working on, which includes several other things that are very high on the priority list, including the sign code amendments, including, for example, the food truck topic. So the thing that we wanted to convey to you tonight was this schedule. And then we're filling in those other things around this. It just sort of wasn't ready for prime time yet. Because what we've got to look at, we've got to be very careful about, because we can put things on a schedule, which to be honest, we kind of did. And then we looked at it and asked ourselves, well, wait a minute, do we have the staff to meet that? How much of their time is going to be taken and what are the priorities? So you'll be seeing more of that. This is a work plan that's going to continue evolving. You're going to just keep seeing more iterations of this as we add in those other things, but that's very much what we're working on. But this is the highest priority for this year, and that's why she's presenting this to you first. And that will continue to be the highest priority, and more detail on the timing of the others is coming. Oh, and by the way, then there's all the things that just come to Planning Commission that we didn't necessarily plan for. Applications for permits and so on. So we have to leave room. So we have to leave room for that, not just on the meeting schedule, but on staff schedule, because they have to process all of that. So as you know, we're trying to hire a senior planner. So, we're trying to build out the resources, council supportive of that, but just a lot of moving parts, but we're trying to be very clear about priorities.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that update. Yeah, and my thought there was just that, I don't know, maybe Councilmember Murphy and myself and Councilmember Johnson can put on our recruiter hats. And obviously the planning commissioners serve at the mayor's discretion, but to evangelize in the community to get folks really interested in it. Please, Mr. Mayor.
2 words for you. Yes, please.
Thank you. I will do my best. Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, the other major priority that we've talked about many times has been affordable housing. And I think the good news is that although affordable housing isn't kind of the title of what we're working on here in this comprehensive plan update, I think it's going to have potentially, it could have a huge impact on the possibilities for affordable housing in the future. So I think there actually is good work on that front that's going to be involved in this. It just isn't necessarily targeted at identifying a specific project by its nature. But I think that extremely important work that we've all as a council shared a substantial amount of interest in is still in progress. And I think this actually does have the potential to have a huge impact on affordable housing in the future of the city.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Yeah, I'll put my 2 cents in. I know that as a part of this zoning, that rezoning that we're doing, we will have to identify parcels for affordable housing. If Director Davis is prepared to speak to that today, please. But I know that will be a part of this as well. So I'm looking forward to that piece.
Yeah, if I could just
Please,
add
Director.
too, that as we are looking through the Snoqualmie Ridge master plan development and all the properties that are zoned mixed use and trying to determine what zoning best fits the built environment, that is going to in turn trigger a lot of municipal code changes, like new draft changes maybe to the existing code to try to better implement that new zoning that we don't see currently on our zoning map. So I expect a lot of code amendments coming through probably early next year.
Okay. Councilmember. Did you have anything else to add, Councilmember Johnson?
Not at this time.
Okay. So, Director Davis, is this a document that will live here at CD, or should we move this forward to the council just in terms of just an update at our next council meeting? I'd like to bring it up just as a quick update. I sit on the F&A, so I had to look at the agenda. We have a large piece there, but I think there may be some room. So, you know what? I think what I'll do, let's refer this over to F&A. Let's have the discussion tomorrow night at F&A if there's enough room to put it on the agenda. Mr. Mayor.
We'll bring it up to them. As you know, they don't like changing their agenda after it's been published, but we will bring it up to them and see if they will have that discussion. It's not urgent, so even if we had to wait 2 weeks, I think we'd be fine, but we'll try to see if they have an appetite to bring that forward.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Was it your intention, Chair, that just be a document that's presented to them, or did you want a presentation on it? I worry that, well, I don't worry. What would you like?
Yeah, no, I don't, I'm not a mind reader, but I think I know where we're going with this. No, I'll defer to Councilmember Murphy. What are your thoughts? Do you think this should just be added in the packet as informational only, or
I think packet informational only seems sufficient.
Councilmember Johnson?
I was going to say something similar, perhaps just very brief comments from the chair, a couple of sentences. Just like,
Fair
this
enough.
is what that is. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. We'll,
But yeah, not a discussion item.
yeah, no presentation. I agree with you. Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, so if that's the will of the committee, then Chair, we'll just put it in the reminder for you to make comment on.
Okay,
But and then we'll include the document in the packet, and then you can just make comment to the council as you just discussed. Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Sounds good. Are there, let's see here. Are there any other discussion items, Director Davis, for the committee?
I don't have any quite yet this evening.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Going once, twice? Okay. Well, there being no further business to come before this committee, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It is 6:23 and we are adjourned.
Thank you.